Right, this is the tub of a Panasonic washing machine, and what happened is the drum was actually scratching around the tub, and look what it did. It actually tore through the outer casing here. So it is now leaking water, because when it fills up, especially when it does the spin, water is actually seeping through here, because as you can see, there's my fingers, so most people would just buy a new tub here, but I'm going to try and repair it. The fault is all the way around, and what I'm going to do is use some cable ties to fill up the gaps. So here's a cable tie. Doesn't matter about the color, and if you have a look, it just happens to be the right size. Look at that. So I can actually stick this in here now. Alright, so I've got some PVC weld. I'm just putting it on the back here, so I can actually just fill this up a bit with some of this PVC weld.
Alright, what I didn't show is that you should buff it up a bit with some sandpaper, so you want it a little bit rough so the glue can actually bind nicely to the plastic.
And I have pre-cleaned it with some alcohol. This is 91% alcohol. It's very important to clean before you use glue. So there's an alcohol. Right, now I'm putting some more here. And if you can, just bend the cable tie a little bit. It will help. If you've got a soldering iron, you can do some plastic welding with the soldering iron. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to solder it here. We'll actually plastic weld it, heating up both plastics so that the cable tie plastic welds to the tub plastic, and this holds the cable tie in place. And I can do that in a few places, and that can also help with the gluing. You can do this first and then you can glue it if you want. Now, just a warning, some glues are flammable, so do not take a hot soldering iron around flammable glues.
Now, if you've got time, you could take a stronger soldering iron and actually weld the plastic all the way around. That would be first prize, but I'm just going to use glue because I'm in a hurry.
Now that it's held in place, you can go around and put the PVC weld one more time if you want, and you can be quite liberal with how much glue, because you actually want to seal it. Right, so you can leave this for 1 hour, then I'll do another coat of the PVC weld. Alright, there is one spot over here which also needs some work. I just want to measure that. When the glue drips, it's not bad. It's a good idea to smear it in, because what happens is eventually this glue sometimes tears away from the plastic. Sometimes it actually welds to it, but sometimes it doesn't. And then for the water to get in there, it's got a lot more travel distance to get into where the hole is. So that is why I like to smear it down around where the hole is. See there, smeared it down. As you know, the tub was broken through, so I've now attempted to seal the front, the inner, but I have not sealed the outer. Now the outer, you can also use the plastic weld, or I'm going to just use silicone. I'm now going to silicone all the way around here where the slit is, and then that will seal it, make it watertight. All I need to do is put the silicone in my fingers. Ideally, if you could, just wear gloves, and I just smear it along the hole. There we go. In the same way you would do a sink to stop water from falling behind, it's the same way I'm using the silicone. And I'll do 2 coats. I'll do this one, and then in the morning I'll do another one. Again, remember to clean it with alcohol, which I've already done. Following that same principle, the silicone, when you do put it here, try and smear it a bit down and up, so that if it does get a leak, it has to break right through the silicone, which is holding on tightly in a wider area. Right, so I've put the silicone all around the back there. Here on the front, I've used a PVC weld. I've filled it in with a cable tie because it's been gouged here by the drum, which scratched around here and made a groove. I'll show you the drum quickly. See, if you look here, here's the drum, and this is what gouged into the top. See, if you look at that profile. Right, so there you can see the silicone all the way around, and I've made it pretty wide. And the reason you make it wide is it's much stronger bond, and also it's harder for it to come undone because it's attached to more plastic. And then I've also made it pretty thick. I might go around and do a second layer. Now what I've noticed is it's missing the little sponge here to stop it from whacking here. There's one at the back, there's one on the side, front, but there's just one missing here, so I'm just going to glue one on while I'm here with the glues. Alright, so here is a sponge, a scourer for your pots and pans. I'm just going to use this now, noting that you want to match it, so it's actually got to be quite thin, and you can just cut it with a knife, and just be careful for your hand. Very easy to cut through a low density sponge. Now I'm going to wait for the glue to dry here. Tonight I'm still going to do the second coat because this glue gets touch dry within about 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll just wait an hour, I'll do the second coat here, and then tomorrow morning I'll do the second coat of the silicone. Right, so I've waited 45 minutes. I'm now going to come and put the last coat of this glue, again being very liberal. Okay, so this is the following day. I'm now just going to take some sandpaper and just lightly catch these, you see these edges here that's come off from the scraping of the drum, and just check the surface here very lightly, just to make sure there's no burrs. The reason why is if the drum knocks here again, you don't want it to catch on something. So there's one here. Right. Right, and if you have a look at the profile, you can see that it is flush. Right, and just having a look at the silicone repair on the side here, you can see the silicone is now dry and it is watertight all the way around where the tear was. And lastly, just take away all this residue, all this debris, because it can block the drain here, the impeller that's there. So we're just going to remove all of this. And just testing this for an unbalanced load. Let's just see. I mean, you can see that repair is now strong. There we go. Right, you can see the water level is at the maximum. There is no water seeping out of this tub. This machine is over full, but I'm testing to see if the water will also seep out of the tub that I've just repaired. And when it spins, we'll do a test there as well and just see if any water is coming out from the bottom of the machine. So far, there's no leakage.
Right, I've completed this repair and I've observed the machine do several loads. I've now waited a week and it is still fine. In fact, my drum was a little bit loose, so I actually removed the drum again and I re-inspected the tub, and the tub is looking good, even though the drum was still knocking a little bit on that tub, just showing how strong that silicone is, by the way, because the tub sometimes hits the side of the chassis of the machine, and that silicone is very resilient. So overall, this has been a success. I do recommend, if you've got the time, instead of using that plastic weld glue, try and actually melt the plastic. So you'll melt the one plastic to the other. That is the best option, and then just sand it down. But obviously, the glue is much faster. If you'd like to see how to remove the drum and how to install the drum, I do have videos for this particular washing machine, and it is on my channel, probably in a playlist. All right, thanks for watching. Cheers.